Oh boy. All right. Let's see here. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right. Hold on. Move this. There we go. Nice. Nice. Oh, geez. Quite a few you already chatting. Oh, my God. Any of these I should take a look at? We looking special from Sebastian. Hold on. There's actually something I want to look at. New headset? No, it's the same one. It's the PlayStation ones. I upgraded. I got a new PlayStation headphones, so I just used the old ones. What's up, Clan? Greatest Spurs fan from the Bahamas. What's up? That dunk by Johnson was sick. I've been consistently impressed with Casso, Mamu, and Champagny this preseason. Yeah. We got to talk about it. Honestly, hold on. Mentioning Keldon. What was our last post? Was my last post talking about Keldon? Oh, it was. All right. Yeah, so funny you bring up Keldon, because I asked how people felt about him. And basically all had the exact same. He's okay, trade soon, trade him. Yeah, it's going to be up and down. He's going to have games like this, and then people are going to say, no, I want him, and then, bad games, and we turn it off. Johnson had a great game overall. Man. I'm going to stay consistent on this, okay? Big body. Okay, I'm going to stay consistent. I do not want to burst anyone's bubble. I really don't. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. But I have to be honest. There's nothing that Keldon Johnson did that he hasn't already been doing. It's just one of those things that sometimes it goes in, and then sometimes it looks really bad, right? In this game, a lot of the shots that he took weren't necessarily good shots. I know I'm just gonna sound like a hater at that point, but at this point, but they just weren't good shots. He went in the chest of Walker Kessler, which that's just a bad shot. And I think in certain games, especially when things get tougher and it's the fourth quarter, you don't want to do that. Keldon so fast to see, guys. I do not see that much of a difference. I'll be honest with you. He had a good game. But it was the same shot selection. I think in the second quarter, third quarter. I think it was the third quarter. He made some pretty good passes. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the game. There was also this report about Chris Paul uncertainty with his leadership. We'll take a look at that article. And then, since Keldon Johnson did have a good game, maybe we can take a look at his post game. Or maybe we take a look at Zach Collins' post game, just overall. So, yeah. Did I mute this? Actually, I want to talk about Zach Collins really briefly. Okay, just really brief, guys. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous about Zach Collins. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm very nervous. I don't know how to feel because at this point, he has to knock down his threes. I mean, he talked about how in the offseason, that's all he's been working on is shooting threes, and that's basically what he's going to be as a stretch big. And not to say that he's replaceable with Mamu, because I do think that he has better defense than Mamu. But geez Louise, guys, I'm just not that. So I'm feeling. It feels iffy. It feels iffy right now. And I'm really curious to see what you guys think or how people feel about this, because I don't want to be that guy. But geez, man, the shots just look terrible. The form just looked terrible. But maybe he'll get going and everything will be totally fine. But right now, I'm a little nervous. So I want to know how you guys feel about it. Yeah. He's done. I don't know. That's tough right there. That's tough. that's tough to say he's done. Yeah, it's only preseason competition. Yeah, I know he's been out, and this is his first game back, but I was looking at the form. It's okay that you missed some shots, but dude, his form changed like twice, 2 or 3 times, honestly. It was weird. All right, hold on. I guess we should start with the game then. Everyone's here for the game, so you can't even knock down open shots. It's just one of those things you just have to wait and see, right? All right, so all right. Enough of all that. All right, diving straight into the game. The Spurs have looked very impressive. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than they've looked very impressive. Overall, as a team, as you can see here, we shot over 50%. That's always good. 37% from 3% or from 3-point line, behind the arc. That is. Turnovers, we had almost half as many turnovers as they did, with 12 versus their 22. Rebounds, we were a little under them with 5 less at 40. But overall, this was a very good game, and it was close the entire time, and I never felt like we were going to lose control of it. I never felt like we were going to screw it up. It just seemed like the team was in control the entire time. I was very impressed. I was very, very, very impressed by 2 players in particular. But before we get to that, let's just go one by one, and I'll tell you how I feel about how everyone performed. And I know that it's preseason, but even Wemby has said himself, it starts now. The winning starts now. And I definitely feel a winning culture with the Spurs. Like they play with a lot of intensity. So starting off with Zach Collins, it's a little troublesome. Okay, 0 for 6 from 3. He's gonna have to knock those down. It's only one game, but I am nervous. I'll be honest with you. Defensively, he was fine. Nothing's gonna change there. We're not expecting some big jump from last season in that regard, but we do expect him to be better at 3. And he wasn't terrible at 3 last season, was he? Hold on, stats. What was he? 34%, 32. Okay, no, it wasn't that great. Yeah, we expect him to be better. We're hoping that we can get the second year, Zach Collins' second year with the Spurs, where he shot 37%. That's where he needs to be in order to get substantial minutes on the court. So that's the one thing I'm worried about. Other than that, it's not like he played poorly necessarily. He made good reads. He filled the lanes well. Nothing really there. You still sleep on Minix. I'll be honest. I don't think that Minix is going to get minutes, when it's all said and done. But I will say that with our bigs being able to shoot at a decent clip, Zach Collins, he might be in a little trouble. Maybe in a little trouble. Okay. I'm still wondering where the heck is Charles Bassey. Does anyone in the chat know? I'll let the chat answer that. Where the heck is Charles Bassey? What is he injured with? Let me know about that. Is it still the same stuff from last season or what? Anyways, moving on. And I'll read that in a minute. Julian Champagny. He still did his thing. 4 for 8 from 3, so 50%. This is how they're going to use him, right? I think that a lot of fans are going to like him this season. I said this last season too, though, that when you go into a season where he's starting and we're not really that good and we don't have a great facilitator, not to say Trey Jones is a bad one, but we don't have a great facilitator, and with Castle, because Castle's been very clutch. He's been very clutch. But moving on, let's see. Achilles still still recovering. Thanks, Mando. So Charles Bassey is still recovering. I didn't know if it was a new injury or not. Your boy Sohan, actually, on paper he played well. 7 for 12 ain't that bad. It was an okay game by him, but 3 steals is huge. His defense was good, like it always is. Pretty consistent. Like there's nothing really new there for Sohan, but overall, if you watch the game, it was a few questionable shots he took, right? A few questionable shots he took in the paint, that is. I don't know why our team kept trying Walker Kessler. I mean, I guess you can't be afraid of him, but man, they kept trying him in the paint. I do not understand why we kept doing that. The Sohan dunk was nasty. It was nasty. It was indeed nasty. But yeah, you guys know how I feel about Sohan. He's been consistent. He's going to do his thing. Out of the starting lineup, only he and Chris Paul had a positive plus minus ratio. So +3 for Sohan. Did a good job. Harrison Barnes, I'm never going to have anything to say about him. I'll be honest with you. I'll never have anything to say about him. I mean, he's solid all the way around. I don't know why I would even have to. There's nothing new I've seen here. He's fine. He's fine. I mean, as far as his 3-point percentage through the preseason, hasn't been the best, but allow the season to start. He'll be much better. Sohan isn't scared in the paint. No, he's not. He's not scared. It was just some questionable shots, though. I was just like, what are we doing? This is good. Like, this is a good percentage. You know, he didn't do bad. 7 for 12 is good. Just a little strange at times. Chris Paul. So Chris Paul continuously tried to find his rhythm, and he just didn't. But he still managed to give us 8 assists, and he played very well. And the shots that he took, they weren't questionable or anything. Those are shots that he normally could hit. I think that he just came into this game, you know, with Wemby not being there, just tried to help us out a little bit more on the offensive end. Him and Harrison Barnes both took 7 shots and both had really poor percentages. But I think just overall, he was just trying to, you know, help the team and take advantage of mismatches. Castle's up. Okay, we're going to get to Castle. Hold on. We're going to get to Castle. Mamu did his thing, 3 for 6. Did his thing. I think Mamu, I think we can go ahead and say with a lot of certainty that he's a backup power forward, right? Like, I think it would be foolish at this point if Pop and company didn't give him big time minutes. He deserves big time minutes. And Pop has already said he's like his favorite player on the team. He plays the right way, made good passes. I mean, you guys mentioned Castle. Castle keeps going to Mamu. Like, he really trusts him. He keeps going to him. But overall, did good. He did well. 5 for 10 overall. Mamu has crazy good chemistry with Castle. He really does. He has good chemistry with Wemby, too. You know, unfortunately, we haven't really got to see it, you know, through the preseason with Wemby being out. But, yeah, he has really great chemistry with Wemby. He hustles and has high IQ. Yeah. He's just not a great defender, you know. You can't keep him in the game super long versus specific centers and matchups and power forwards, that is. But overall, he's fine. I think undoubtedly he's going to back up Sohan. I think it would be foolish not to at this point. Like, that would just be stupid. Spurs fans, I need to know, who should I take fantasy basketball, Castle or Chris Paul? Oh, God, that's actually a really good question. Oof. Probably Chris Paul. Yeah. Probably Chris Paul. Moving on. Ingram, you know, it's not much to say there. I'm not going to say much about Ingram. I know everyone loves Minix. I don't hate him or dislike him or anything. And like I said, with his shooting ability, it's just making Collins look bad, man. It's making Collins look really bad. Because that's really what we need him for. We're not leaning on Collins for anything else. I think last season he had, oh gosh, I can't remember what that specific stat is. It's when you pass the ball in plenty of different ways. What is that called? Can you guys tell me? Is it like diversity in your passing? Oh, what's that called? I need some help, chat. Like, you can make a lot of different passes. He was top in the league at that amongst big men. Castle is like Josh Stockton. All right, I'll let you guys let me know. I cannot remember what that's called. It's when you can make a bunch of different types of passes. You know, skip passes, bounce passes. I don't know. But he was top of the league in that. Send him to China. Okay. All right. I guess we're not going to answer that. Pass verse. Is that what it is? Relay pass? No. It's like versatility and passing. It's a stat for that, and I can't remember what the stat is called. God, that's going to bother me all night if I don't remember. But you know what I'm saying, right? He can make so many different passes, and he was top of the league of that. But that's not what we need him for, right? We don't care about his defense. We don't care about the passing ability. I mean, those things are good. You know, it can keep him in a game at certain times. But most importantly, we need him to be able to hit wide open 3-point shots. Is that? Oh, yes, passing versatility. Is that what it's called? I thought it was called something else. But yeah. Anyways, so I'm a little nervous there. But yeah, Meanix hitting shots like this, it should make Collins a little nervous. Me personally, I think it should make him nervous. Because everyone's basically knocking down their threes, right? No one's really struggling, really. Any big man, none of them are struggling. And that's the one thing we need him for. Anyways, sorry. Keldon Johnson, 9 for 13. He had a good game, right? He had a good game. It's one of those things, man, where I'm cheering, like, he's a Spur, right? I'm cheering him on. Passing efficiency? No. Is it passing versatility? It's a real metric. Maybe it is that. Okay, passing versatility. Okay, maybe it was passing versatility then. Yeah, but Keldon Johnson, this is going to be a continuous thing between me and fans of Keldon, because I mean, I'm a fan of him only because he's a Spur, but I'll be honest with you guys, I do not like the shot selection. But I will say this, in the third quarter, I thought he did a very good job of distributing the ball. Yeah, exactly. Jada said Keldon actually passed out of some drives, seemed new. Yeah, in the third quarter, it looked pretty good. I'm just still nervous. I'm going to be hesitant, right? I know some people have in the chat specifically said he looks faster. I don't necessarily see. I mean, he looks slightly quicker, but it's the tendencies. It's never been Keldon Johnson's athletic ability. It's always been the tendencies. That's the only thing that worries me about him. He's terrible with shot selection and loves driving, but luckily he played well. Yeah. Because in this game, he went in the chest of Walker Kessler, and then he did it again, like right after. The first shot, I was like, that's a bad shot. He made it, and I was like, oh my God, that was a bad shot. Then he did it again, then got blocked by Kessler. And then I think he attempted another one, got blocked again. So, I don't know. But 9 for 13 is great. 20 points, +4, plus-minus ratio. I know, oh, Ruru's left. I know, Ruru. I know. I don't mean to be like this, man. I don't mean to be like this. I hope that, the tendencies change. But in the third quarter, he did do a good job of passing out. So I was like, okay, all right, that looks much better. And I'm sure having someone like Chris Paul is definitely going to help as well, instill that. So don't hate Keldon or anything like that. I genuinely like him. And I think that he's a good player. It's not like me saying he's a scrub. It's just the tendencies. Let's see. Flynn only played a minute. Trey Jones did Trey Jones things. Nothing to say there. 5 steals was crazy, though. Was not expecting that from Trey Jones tonight. That was really great. Boston Jr., nothing there. All right, so we got to talk about these two. All right, and we're just gonna group them together. Okay, we're gonna group them together like Gogeta. Okay, like Goku and Vegeta. Okay, like Goku and Vegeta. We're just gonna lump them together. They play so well together, man. Blake Wesley and Castle look really good together. I think we all agree on that, right? Like it's very impressive, both of them. So Blake Wesley, I wasn't expecting his handles to be as tight as they are, nor was I expecting his passing ability to take a huge leap. He is not turning the ball over at all. He seems way more controlled. I think that's the word of the day for him, or the week. He just looks controlled, man. He looks like he's in control of his body. He's control of what move he's going to make next. He's control of as a maestro on the court. He just overall has way more control than he did last season. And then defensively, I think he's gotten even better. He's not a lockdown like Castle is, but he's definitely a pest. He's a pesty player. But those two together, when they're on the court together, they look really good. They play really well together. And yeah, so overall, I don't want to put a label on Wesley right? I don't want to say, oh, he's a point guard of the future or he's a shooting guard of the future. He's just combo, man. You can kind of just put him in whenever you need a little bit of pestiness. I'm just hoping that his 3-point shot is better. We haven't really gotten to see it yet. Today he took one and it didn't look the prettiest, but that's something that he's going to have to work on. But most importantly, man, he's worked on his handles. His basketball IQ has gotten even better. And we know that in college he did run point guard, and he actually came in and took over the point guard position from someone else that was a veteran at that position at the time. So he came in as a rookie, and they gave it to him. So he can run the point. He's just been doing a really good job. I have no complaints about Wesley whatsoever. And then Castle, as I always said, controlled. He was great. Very clutch as well. Very clutch. He uses his body extraordinarily well. He's so patient. He goes at his own pace, and it's not too slow, not too fast, but it's just enough to throw off the defense. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good, man. All right, now, but there is one elephant in the room, right? I know we mentioned Zach Collins, but there's another elephant in the room. We just got done talking about him in another video. This man right here. What is your opinion on Malaki being DNP? Oh yeah, see, that's what I want to talk about. I think he's gone. I think the Spurs have till the end of the season to do that 4th-year option, right? I think it's a wrap. And the reason why I think that is because, and I could be wrong, but I think it's not a matter of, because people will say like, oh, Branham's trash, get rid of him or whatever. I don't think he's trash. It's just that what he does best is more of a pick and roll mid-range threat. That's what he is. And unfortunately, with the Spurs, we don't have to use him as that. We barely had to use him as that last season, right? He's not a spot-up shooter. That's just not who he is, and that's what the Spurs need him to be. And that's what makes me worried. Like, I don't know if he's going to be here. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with his ability to play basketball. Like, he's good. He'll be fine in the NBA. It's just he's with the wrong team. Which, we already barely used, his best trait. But when you add on Chris Paul and now Blake Wesley playing as well as he is, as an on-ball handler, and Castle, he's resorted to just being a spot-up shooter. And unlike Julian Champagnie, he's not going to be able to make up for not shooting well defensively. So if you have him as a spot-up shooter, he's not a 3-and-D. He's just a spot-up shooter. If he's not hitting his shots, then he's sit. And he'll just end up being one of those players you put in and see, can you get going? Can you be a spark plug? Oh, you can't? Okay, you sit for the rest of the game. Like, that's the type of player I'm getting the vibe that we're going to use him as. Like, come in, you're going to give us something? No? Okay, sit down. I don't know. Am I too late for the KJ hate? Good God. Keldon went off today and played good defense too. He did good. He had a good game. You got to keep in mind, man, it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to think that he's going to be much different. I need a pretty nice lump sum of games, and even in this game I felt like it was some bad shot selections, but he did play well. Keldon has games like this. I like the rookie. He's so good. Yeah, Castle is really, and that's the thing. Castle ran more of a combo guard last season with UConn, and his shooting was really poor, right? Like 27% or something like that. But he actually can shoot much better than people, give him credit for. Harrison Ingram and Sidi Sissoko both said this during the scrimmage, or not scrimmage. It wasn't scrimmage. What was it? The summer league. They talked about that, how he's a much better shooter than people think he is, with them practicing with him and everything. And so he's much better than than what he showed at UConn. And in high school, he could shoot lights out. So, yeah, he's a really good player, man. And he's not afraid to take the shots either. Also, just a little fun fact here. As you can see, he had the highest plus minus of any player on the team. He had plus 10. Closest one to him was Trey Jones with a plus 7. So he definitely, I don't know if he'll start this season. I doubt it. But I definitely think he's going to be finishing games. Like he is going to be in it. When the game is close and there's 4 minutes left, he's going to be in that game. I don't think Pop is going to have him out of that game. He makes so many good decisions when the time is running out. And he plays with so much intensity too. I know he doesn't show a lot of facial expression, but he plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of attention to detail. Yeah. Spurs has 70 points in the paint, which is pretty impressive. Jeez, I didn't even realize that. I love how Castle is more hype on his teammates' dunk than his dunk. Yeah, he's just a good teammate. You know, he just doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. And he's very confident, you know. He's very confident. Oh, I didn't even mention City Sissoko. He did fine. He barely played, so he did fine. Yeah. I'm not convinced that he's going to get a lot of minutes this season, right? I think most of the minutes he could be getting is going to be taken up by Mamu. But at the end of the day, you know, Sissoko, he needs another year to cook, right? He needs to be in the G League. He needs to cook a little bit, and he'll be fine. I do like him. Hopefully his 3-point shooting will be much better. He just needs reps, so we got to send him to the G League again. His ball denial is top notch. It is. He is. When we talk about we need a point of attack defender, this is what he is. He is by far the best, or I think he's going to be this season, the best perimeter defender we have. You know, I love me some Castle. He's a great player, man. When we hopefully contend soon, I can see closing lineups having Wemby, Sohan, Devin Vassell, Castle. Castle will definitely be in the game he's definitely going to be the closing lineup. Maybe he doesn't start off starting, right? I do think he could be a future point guard, starting point guard for us. But yeah, he is going to finish games, undoubtedly. How he's been finishing is, yeah. UConn fan here. Y'all low-key got the actual #1 draft pick. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. My friend Swish Hill talked about him a lot before last season even started. So I kept my eye on him, and I was like, oh my goodness. And that's when we were going to the draft. There were a lot of people not liking the fact that I had Castle over Risache. A true two-way player. He getting 22 plus minutes this year. Yeah, he could legitimately be Rookie of the Year. The only thing that will hold him back from being Rookie of the Year is himself, because he doesn't take a lot of bad shots. He's just going to try to help his teammates. He just tries to win. That's the only thing that's going to hold him back. Minix 8 points under 4 minutes is crazy. Minix is a shooter. That dude can score. That dude can score. He is him. Exactly. That's all I have to say about the game. Overall, it was a good game without Wemby. They played very well, and you can already tell that the Spurs are starting to kick it up a notch, right? They are kicking it up a notch. That fourth quarter in particular, you can look at the end of the game, right? You can see the first half, it was 27 points, 25 points. They kicked it up to 36, and then they ended with the fourth 38-29. They finished so strong. And really, it was led by Castle, to be honest with you. But yeah, and then gave the Jazz their first preseason loss of the preseason. So they just did a good job, man. Just overall, I know I keep saying impressive, but I don't have another word for it. Castle was on the UConn Dream Team, essential part of probably top 3 best college basketball teams of all time. He did a great job. I really hope we can hold on to the leads longer this year. Last year, that was our issue. Oh, we don't have to worry about that at all. when you have Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, because now you can, last season we didn't have this luxury, right? Now you can put in, if things start to get a little messy, you can put in Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes together, and you're basically fine. Like, I'm not worried about will Zach or, Jeremy Sohan screw something up or Wemby screw something up. Because at that point, you're looking at Jeremy Sohan, Wemby, maybe Devin Vassell, and then 2 veterans, and great veterans at that. I'm not really worried about it. If the Spurs have a really good lead going into the 4th, that's probably a wrap. Like, I think they're going to finish a lot of games. That's why I've convinced myself that we can get to 44 wins. Looks like a whole different team this year. It's because everyone got so much better. And Blake Wesley, he earned his minutes last season, but he's been great, man. Turnover wise, what is he averaging? Under a turnover a game? I think the second game he didn't even have a turnover. I think the first one he had 1 turnover. I see it? Yeah. They're spanking Jazz even with Colin Sexton out there. They look so good. This is going to be a fun season. If Atlanta exceeds expectations this year, it's going to be harder for Pop to tank. If Atlanta exceeds expectations, it'll be harder for Pop to tank. Oh, I get what you're saying. That we're going to need to tank. Atlanta is not going to exceed expectations this year. Spurs have depth now. They really do. Really do. I still don't know if we make the playoffs. A 44 wins still might not be enough, mind you. Let's see. NBA. 44 wins is me going crazy. Most people think around 35. Let's see. Standings. We'll look at the standings last season. Why does it all automatically have 24-25 on here? Oh, this is wrong. What the heck is this? Oh. That was a pop-up. All right, let's go here. Yeah, see, 44 wins last season still doesn't even put you in the conversation. So, you'll still be kind of a tank. I've seen enough. 72-10 plus championship. Good God. Spurs can make a play-in push. For sure. But I think even me saying 44 wins, I think that's pushing it. Right? But last season, what it looked like in the West is 44 wins wouldn't have got you there. Not even at the play-in. Close, but not quite. We'll see. We're breaking 50 wins. Oof. That would be, I think that would be the craziest turnaround in NBA history. Best turnaround seasons NBA history. Someone showed us this in chat, and we were second. We were second and third. Celtics won 42 more games in 2007, 2008. Okay, so not quite. Not quite. Thanks for subscribing, Big Sundays. Not quite. Yeah, we would seriously be looking at one of the greatest turnarounds in NBA history. You get in the 50s from 22. Even with my very optimistic 44, you're still in the history books. Going to 50 plus would be insane. Wait till we 10 games in and he's in MVP talks. Who we talking about? Wemby? Spurs undefeated when CP3 plays. True. All right, that was good stuff. Moving on, though. I think realistically you could push 47, maybe. All right. All right, here's a little drama, kind of. Not really. Kind of. I saw this circulating on Twitter. I instantly just called BS. I mean, this was the headline that they were running with. And it says there was uncertainty in Spurs organization regarding Chris Paul's leadership style. And there were plenty of people in the chat, or not the chat, I'm sorry, in the comment section, you know, talking about, oh man, is there some turmoil going? No, there's literally nothing. So going through this is actually from Brian Windhorst, and he talked about how initially there might have been some uncertainty, but guys, this is very confusing. Reading this quote is very confusing. It's like a big nothing burger. Like, I don't really understand why this was even a thing. But I definitely want to talk about it. So this is what he said. In speaking to folks there, bringing in Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, they obviously had their reasons why they wanted that veteran presence there. Obviously, we don't have to talk about that. Harrison Barnes in particular, he's a position that we need. So that can kind of set the groundwork, right? The blueprint of what we would need going forward. We have to fill in that small forward spot in the future, you know, future drafts. And then uncertainty, but there was no concern. I don't know. When I hear uncertainty, that there's a little uncertainty of how this is going to work, that would you being concerned? Maybe? I don't know. Is that how you guys read that? I mean, that's how I read that. When you say uncertainty, I think that this is where I got a little confused. Unless you're just saying, like, you know, it was, I don't know, even suspicion would have a negative connotation to it. Anyways, with Victor Wembanyama leading the way, the acceptance of Chris Paul's leadership technique has gone very well in San Antonio, better than they thought, I am told. So yeah, so that's what that is. I'm kind of disappointed in this, man. I'm disappointed that this headline took the shape that it did, because I think a lot of people's heart dropped when they initially saw this. And yeah, there's like no problems whatsoever, actually. And also, we have the players that we have on our team. I mean, Chris Paul has mentioned this too, like a good guy, like everyone's good people. But the guys on our team are pretty nasty. Like they want to win. They're tough guys, right? And one thing in particular, and very reminiscent of Tim Duncan days, is you have Victor Wembanyama. So Chris Paul's harsh leadership, or you know how he comes across, you have Victor Wembanyama, who's going to take it too. Like, he's going to be totally fine. A big clickbait, a little bit, yeah, a little bit, because it was. I'm telling you, it was Legion Hoops who pushed this as well. Yeah, it was Legion Hoops that pushed it. I saw a few other accounts as well. 101,000 views here. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Now, one thing out of it was just this. Josh Paredes says, uh-oh, the turmoil has already begun. Basically making fun of this report, which is just adorable. This is just adorable. Yeah, it's silly, man. It's silly. I hate that. I hate reports like this. But hey, thought I would bring it up to you guys if you didn't see it. If you didn't see it, I hate it. But it is what it is. But everything is fine. And when you have Victor Wembanyama, that definitely helps a lot, right? It helps a ton. So we'll be fine. Lag? Oh, was there lag? I don't know why. Oh, I see it dropping a little bit. Try something. No. Internet's been funny lately, man. It's been funny lately. see something. No, it's something wrong with the stream. It's not you. It's like jumping back and forth. We'll see what happens. This is last order of business anyways. We'll have it recorded after the fact. It's all good. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Honestly, I'm kind of more interested in. Initially, I was like, "Hey, let's listen to Keldon," but I'm actually more interested in Zach Collins because Keldon, you know what you're gonna get from him, right? We know it's gonna be a little bit of inconsistency. You're gonna get some good, get some bad. But overall, you know, you're gonna have games like this where he really shows. But every single game, one thing that you can rely on is that he's gonna play with a certain level of intensity, and he does care about winning. Like, that's the one thing about Keldon. Even though I'm not sold on his tendencies as a player for us, doesn't mean that I don't like him or I don't recognize the good that Keldon brings, because he does bring a certain level of intensity. Now, the one player that has some question marks, like obviously we know Malaki Branham has some big question marks on if he'll even be here, but Zach Collins is one where I don't know what's going to come out of this one, man. I don't know what's going to come out of this one. We'll just look at this 1 minute clip. Hold on, let me make sure there's no other ones, because the Spurs take forever to upload anything. Oh, there is another one. All right, we got a better one here, actually. All right, so this actually just got uploaded. All right, let's take a look. I want to know what Zach Collins has to say. You know, I'm sure no one's going to go at him or anything like that, but I know he's disappointed. I mean, going into the season, one thing that he talked about over and over, time and time again, was that his three-point shooting has improved. And, you know, in this game in particular, it just didn't look that great, right? So let's see. Shot mechanic is, yeah, his shot mechanics, that's what worries me a little bit.
I guess first off, how you feeling? How'd you come out of that first game action?
Is he looking at his stats? Is that the stats right here?
Good. The body feels good. Shoulder feels good. Yeah, I was happy with it. I was just happy to get out there.
Happy belated birthday. Thank you.
Just fun to play again.
Didn't seem like you had any worries about it. You're still banging on people. Is there no mental block there at all?
I don't think so. I think I did it to this one, and I came out of that fine, and it's been fine since. So I think we did the rehab correctly. So I think I'm pretty confident that it's just even stronger now. So I wasn't worried about it.
What'd you think of the defense on the?
He looks like that. What's that rapper name? What's the rapper name? Lil Mabu? I'm gonna have to look him up.
Especially the third and fourth quarter, late third, and fourth, the way you guys went small and your teammates were just amazing on defense.
It's been an emphasis this camp. Just try to switch some things up, give teams some different looks defensively than what we've been doing, and we have guys that can do that. And you know, a lot of work this summer wasn't just on the offensive side of the ball. We were all trying to get better defensively too. So it's showing in preseason. Now it's preseason, so it's got to have some carryover. But it's good to see.
I need a good picture.
Back along those lines, Pop, before the game, talked about holding guys more accountable this season and not being so tolerant of repeated mistakes. Are you seeing that in training camp with his coaching?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've definitely put more of an emphasis on teaching and actually drilling things a lot, especially defensively. We know it's been a tough thing for us the last couple of years, so we've all tried to, again, individually make an effort to get better, but they've set the tone definitely, especially in training camp.
A little bit.
What's it like as a big running pick and rolls with Chris Paul?
Hold on.
He just makes your life easier, man. He's so good at manipulating things and knowing what he wants to do, and just having 2 or 3 setups, confusing the defense, and yeah, it's fun to be out there with him.
You look like him a little bit.
In a nutshell,
Machine Gun Kelly?
Makes the game a lot easier, and guys are getting open looks left and right, and he's making passes that you don't know are there, and then all of a sudden the ball's in his shooting pocket and he's wide open. He's a Hall of Famer, so.
Yeah, Chris Paul did a great job. That one pass to Julian Champagnie in the corner was so sick. It was so sick. Definitely looked like more G-Eazy. Okay, hold on.
Looks super light on his feet, just really active. What have you seen from him during camp? I know he said he's basically in the best shape he's ever been in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you just look at him, he looks just in phenomenal shape. He looks lighter, but he still looks strong, and he's still getting downhill. Clearly, I mean, he was doing his Keldon thing tonight, just bumping guys out of the way and getting to the rim. And on top of that, he just, like you said, he seems lighter. He's just full of energy. It seems all the time, and more than, if that's possible, more than he usually does. But yeah, he looks great. It's a testament to what he did over the summer.
Yeah, he's still
I think my comparison was better.
Yeah, he did his thing, man. Again, if he's jumping higher, that's scary.
Are they going to ask him about his shooting?
Earlier in the summer, you told me that Blake Wesley was really going to impress people, and defensively, he's just been outstanding. Do you think that that's a mental thing or a physical thing, or both?
Both. Yeah, he's super athletic, very quick.
It is all it really took for Blake Wesley was for his mental to meet his physical, and I feel like it's finally happened. And he looks so good. He looks like G-Eazy. Oh wait, did I read? He is G-Eazy. Did I just read the same thing? No, that's two different people. Sorry. Okay, yeah, he does not look like G-Eazy.
Very fast, and he loves defense. He's a bulldog. You know, he loves to get up in people's chests, make them uncomfortable, and he's been doing this, all since he's been in the league, but especially in the open gym. I mean, ask anybody on our team. He's been in everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. So he's come in with just such a great mindset, and he knows that.
That Blake Wesley has always been like that, right? Like, he's always been like that. They talked about how the reason why they drafted him, or a big reason they drafted him and Malaki, is because they were competing against each other very well. And from my understanding, Blake Wesley got the best of Malaki. And we even looked at Blake on a podcast after his tryouts, and he brought up San Antonio as his best workout. So he's a dog. He's a dog.
Defense is something that, for him, he could make a mark in this league defensively, because not a lot of guys can move like him and be as smart as him defensively. And you can just tell that he just has fun when he plays defense. He's very creative with how he goes for the ball, where he.
And can people please? It seems like every time, no one in the chat done this, but I've seen it quite a few times. Enough where it irritates me a little bit. Can we stop comparing every point guard or combo guard we get that can play some defense to DeJounte Murray? Because Blake Wesley and Stephon Castle plays nothing like DeJounte Murray. And I've seen people actually say that, like, often enough where I took notice. Like, they play nothing like him at all. It's not even close. Yeah. It's especially Castle. Castle plays nothing like DeJounte Murray. He's a much better defender as well. Like, that is just, I don't know.
He helps. He's you can tell he has fun with it.
Do you think you'll be seeing more of a dress rehearsal situation in these last two games?
Easily, yeah. Castle would be better than Murray. Easily.
Yeah, who knows? I know that we're going to start scouting teams, I think, probably these next two games, if not the last game. Just so
totally
we can
different game.
Get a look at that before we go into.
Sorry, I missed something. This was kind of boring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who knows? I know that we're going to start scouting teams, I think, probably these next two games, if not the last game, just so we can get a look at that before we go into Dallas. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Coach does.
13 steals is a ton, but is that sort of activity or forcing those?
Overall thoughts on birds laying eggs? It's gross. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Ball turnover is something that you think, with all the depth in the backcourt, you think it's replicable?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, it's just been kind of just a point of emphasis in our practices, and if anything, we've put just more focus on that side of the ball, and again, more and more teaching and more drilling, just to make sure.
Hopefully Castle won't say the Spurs are boring like Murray did. Did Murray say we were boring, or did he say we held him back? He said a lot of things. Then he went back on it, kind of, but not really. He basically gaslit. He does that a lot. He will say something or do something and then gaslight us into like believing he never said that. Or he does it all the time. He did it when he was with us too.
Everybody's comfortable, and getting up into people and getting into passing lanes is all fine. But if your backside is not there to help, then you can't do it. And I think that's where into passing lanes is all fine. But if your backside is not there to help, then you can't do it. And I think that's, getting into passing lanes is all fine.
I'm sorry,
but if your
I'm
backside
bored.
is not there to help, then you can't do it. And I think that's where we've kind of taken a step forward is having that second line when we take risks.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you guys.
that was fine. I feel this is just a vibe thing, just a vibe thing. He initially started off, I'm pretty sure he was looking at his stats. I think he's pretty disappointed, right? I think he's pretty disappointed. And he's a trooper. I think that he's a really good vet. And I don't think that he's as bad as a lot of fans make him out to be. I think defensively he is fine. He's suitable. It's just very irritating at times, you know, when we really know what his role has to be and we're just not fully sure if he's going to be able to match what that role is. It's honestly, now I think about it, it's very similar to the same issue or worries I have with Malaki in a way, where what Zach Collins is really good at doing, and when he came into the league, he wasn't supposed to be like a spot up shooter. That's not who he was. That's not who he is. Can he shoot the three? Yes, but he's not a spot up 3-point shooter. But with your boy, and the same thing with Malaki Branham, where that's not the best thing that he does, but it's the same thing. Like, we're expecting him or needing him to be a spot up 3-point shooter, and that's not what he is. So that's the one thing that worries me a little bit, you know, with Collins. I feel like it's kind of the same thing in a way, where, you know, we have to adjust to what he has to be for us, and sometimes it pans out. You know, it extends careers. You know, it happened with Richard Jefferson. It really helped him out in his career, where he had to be more of a 3-point shooter. So it can happen. It's possible for it to happen. But Zach Collins is only 26. It's just really, it worries me a little bit, you know. But I think that he's fine. I don't think he's as bad as people say. And, you know, hopefully Charles Bassey can go. But if he's not, we're going to be relying on Collins a lot as a backup center. Right. It's obvious that Murray is the problem because he went from the Spurs to the Hawks and now the Pelicans. Why did the Hawks trade him instead of Trae Young? Murray is toxic. It is very true. I mean, I'm not holding back on any of that. Even when he was with the Spurs, it was a lot of tendencies I didn't like, right? And it was quite a few people that pushed back on that, like, oh no, Murray's great. Why are you hating on Murray? And it was, ugh. It was a lot of drama off the court, man. It was a lot of interpersonal drama. At least I could say that. It wasn't a ton of like directed to the Spurs, but it was enough where it made you a little iffy. Like when they took him out of the starting lineup, then he unfollowed all of the players, and then he took point guard out of his bio. It was him being very weird towards Brian Wright, basically talking. It was subliminals, but he was throwing subliminal shots on Instagram at Brian Wright. Yeah, it was just a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, I'm not the fan. And then during the offseason, he was never in San Antonio. You know, he never really, not to say he's obligated to do this, but he didn't really give back to the city that much. You know, the only article you can find on DJ giving back to San Antonio was like his rookie year. So yeah, really weird. We should still appreciate DJ considering what we got back for him. That is true. We'll be losing for 15 years. That is so funny how he said it's bigger than basketball. The system is so stupid. No more Murray talk. Yeah, we're off that. I hope everything works out with Zach Collins. I really do. All right, enough of that, guys. The stream is acting up. I swear it's so weird. It jumps all the way to 8,000 kilobytes per second, and then it'll drop all the way down to 10. And it's doing this over and over, and I don't really know what's going on. So we're gonna end the stream. I appreciate everybody coming through. And what I'm gonna do is the few things that we talked about, I'll upload it and we'll talk about it. Right? We'll be back. No, I won't be back Monday night. When do we play? Tuesday? It is what it is. Yeah, we play on Tuesday, right? I can live stream after the game on Tuesday. I think we play at 6:30 on Tuesday. Oops, I spelled Spurs wrong. All right, cool. Yeah, we play on Tuesday. So I'll stream after that. And then... Okay, cool. And then after that, there's a whole nother... From Thursday to Thursday, we have a big break. Sure, it'd be a lot to talk about. Where do you live stream? I live stream on YouTube. I need to create a Twitch. I mean, I have a Twitch account, but I need to start using it. I'll probably start using the Twitch account a little bit more. That'll help. Maybe. I definitely still want to do like a Spark and Zero tournament. That'll be really nice. See you later. See you later. Everybody have a good night. I am tired. Tough start to the season. I think we take out the Mavericks, to be real with you. It is tough. Oh, that is tough. Yeah, it's like relentless. I guess Devin Vassell will be coming back at a good time, right? He'll be coming back right after possibly a rough start. But I think we'll take out the Mavericks. What happened to your cat? Is she sleeping? Yeah, she's sleeping. All of those are wins, by the way. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.